Hello, everyone. Today, I'm interviewing a good friend of mine, Charito Kaay of Young Living, who specializes in wellness and essential oils. Charito is one of those unique individuals that I've come to meet and know quite well here in Vancouver, who is so committed to your well-being, but also to her own personal growth, as well as the expansion of her network, and is so supportive of others. That's how I've come to know Charito, but I really like this opportunity for Charito to share with you a little bit about her business, and what it all means. So, Charito, welcome. I'd like to ask you just to share a little bit about your business.
Well, thank you, Joel, for having me on here, and it's so lovely to chat with you. I remember the first day that we met. It was very early in the morning in downtown Vancouver, and we just simply connected right away in talking about health and business entrepreneurship. Well, my business is purely owned by myself, but I do partner up with a company called Young Living Essential Oils to provide products that people can use as a tool to launch the idea of my own values, helping people remove the toxins in their home. So how can we do that? I need to point them in a certain direction in products to be able to do that. My background is environmental engineering, and so for me, my value is to reduce the impact on our health from environmental toxins.
Now, I know from conversations with you, you're also a vegan chef or raw food chef. So you encompass the whole, not just um, dropping in drops, if you like, as part of the wellness. You do look after the intention of the body as well as the individual when they show up. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. So as a health coach and wellness coach, there are pillars of health that I advocate. So one is the air quality in the home, what goes into your body, which is the food, and nourishing it with highly nutritious and dense food. And that could be helping people to easily incorporate tasty fruits and vegetables in their body. And that can include using essential oils to help with mindfulness during the eating process, help with the mood to get people on board with having the productivity and energy to do that. It's all very holistic in the way I approach people's health. Food, the air quality, reducing toxins, the impact on our body, and taking enough water, our mental health, and things that we put on our skin. So the exposure pathway there as well.
Now, you said something very interesting, at least it's been repeating for me, the terms about mindfulness when eating foods. Mindfulness is obviously quite prevalent at the moment. It seems to be the buzzword. It used to be called meditation, but for me, it's about being conscious. And you're saying that some of the essential oils, the environment somebody eats in, will support that being cognizant of what they're eating, how they're doing, and really appreciating the food they're eating. Is that right?
Definitely, it can do that. Uh, a lot of clients in the past, they would like to take the action to change their eating habits for the better, but there can be barriers to that. Either they don't have enough energy to go grocery shopping, to prepare their foods, and then once they eat, they're still in a rush. And when we're in a rush, the process of our body activating to start the digestive process is delayed. And so we eat, and then we're still hungry because we haven't actually even started the digestive process in the mind. Start the enzymes to activate in the mouth and also the stomach as well. So 20 minutes later, it may be activated. By then, we've filled up our stomach with food, and we're still eating for another 20 minutes or an hour, and we've overstuffed ourselves potentially. But by mindfully eating, we can also enjoy the food, relax so that we can rest and digest the food.
That's fascinating. So, two questions really. The first one springs to mind is, who is then your ideal customer, your client, your prospect that you like to engage with? But also, how what's your experience? How long have you been doing this?
hmm I became a certified um, health coach, lifestyle coach, and raw food um, coach, and learned about raw veganism, and was teaching kids and the community about incorporating veganism or fruits and vegetables in their food choices in 2012. So that was the process. And
So let me interrupt. A long time before it became fashionable.
exactly. So these days you can, in Vancouver, which is where I live here in Canada, veganism and vegetarian has, resurgence after all these years, and you can find a green juice or a smoothie, gluten-free vegan options, dairy-free options very, very easily here in Vancouver, Canada, at every street corner now. But when I first started sharing veganism and eating more fruits and vegetables easily, it wasn't very commonplace. People really didn't understand what a green smoothie was. When I grew up, a green smoothie was, I think, ice cream with a banana and orange juice or something like that.
Or it's
Um,
gone off.
yes, it wasn't healthy. Um, and so in 2012, I did a lot of classes teaching people food, and I always incorporated essential oils in the environment I was teaching to help people pay attention in my class, to help people get energized, excited. And because the food these days don't have a lot of scent the way they're grown, roses, for instance, the red ones at Valentine's, it really don't have much smell. But the not so perfect roses that may be light pink or lavender with thorns on them, they smell wonderful, but they don't look as pretty. So it's the same thing. Our food no longer has the smell in it. So what I will do is elevate all the senses during their experience to help activate the happiness in their own body and mood in that experience.
So
I'll
who
put it in the food as well.
I got you, and I know that. I always thought it was just my congestion, but no, you're right. There is no there is a sensory deprivation food now. It tends to be filling without being nutritious and without that sensory experience. So, but who are you actually talking to now? So, if somebody is already, say, very cognizant about their health, are you communicating to them to say, look, these are natural ways of supporting that process, or are you looking to engage with those who are expressing a curiosity, or are you looking to convert people to this way of living?
Mm.
What's your target?
So when I started as a health coach, that was my intention, to help people incorporate the food as part of their health and holistic way of being healthy. But as I progressed on, there are people that were very interested in trying to figure out how to help their mood first before incorporating the food. So people will learn how to eat healthy, but somehow their emotion, their mental mindset would dwindle. Their motivation would start to decrease. So first, for me, it was trying to figure out, it was what, 2015, when I realized there were some people who were very interested in incorporating the healthy lifestyle, and those that really wanted but wasn't sure how to get there, and we needed to work a little bit on their mood and mindset. And as an environmental engineer, I was looking at an assessment of what else, how can we support people on their health goals, what is causing the obstacles and the barriers to help people with their energy and productivity if it's not just the food. And what it was is all the things that were causing input into their body and affecting their motivation, their productivity, which could be their environment. The toxicity in their environment was actually suppressing the immune system, suppressing their joy, their happiness. They weren't getting enough sleep because they're inundated with chemicals in the home, or they're sneezing, they're getting allergies. They're getting colds still frequently, not totally eliminated, maybe reduced by incorporating, healthy foods, but there was just that missing piece. And so although initially my clients were people who were interested in incorporating more fruits and vegetables into their diet, and could be people who want to switch their lifestyle because they had an autoimmune issue, or they had digestive issues, they were starting to get food sensitivities, which is kind of on the rise. And so those were my initial clients, and they were really on board to grab the bull by the horns. And I really want to help those other people that were struggling, that just wanted to make their life a little bit better, but there was still a blockage. So in 2015, I started converting my business to also address those people, to help with eliminating the toxins in their homes. So those are the people who I would say typically are mothers who want the environment that's safe for their pets, their fur babies, and their human babies, their children. So that's been a bit of a transformation. And if they're interested in the health, fruits and vegetables and things like that, they may ask me, but that is how my business has kind of transformed in the last 5 years. And people are interested in essential oils, which is a plant-based essence, to help insert more of that in their home and reduce the toxicity that's affecting their health.
That's amazing. And as you're talking, at least from the culture that I've come from, this would normally be regarded as something that's an alternative form of treatment, or even complementary. But the way you're talking is it's not an alternative. It's about being true to the essence of who you are and using your products, the oils, to complement and support, not as an either or. And I think that's phenomenal. Right now, a lot of people are very aware of health because of COVID. They're very concerned about the environment. But how has COVID impacted you and your business?
In my business, people are thinking about their health typically in the winter months when they're getting sick. Those people where the lifestyle of health isn't 24/7. And so I will have my set customers that will be ordering every single month, just like you would go to the grocery store to get your food every single week. But in the winter time, it would definitely increase because people are getting sick. They're thinking about their immune system. And COVID has shifted that, or increased that span of time where people are thinking about their health now. So March, when there was lockdown here in Vancouver, March 15, 17, I was inundated with requests, which I would typically get from my current clientele in the winter time, to stock them up again with their set, regimen of essential oils and supplements that they would normally have during the winter. And also, I think that the people who are working from home, they were using their essential oils in their environment throughout the day, and not just in the evening if they're going for sleep or when they're home cooking their meals, that sort of thing. And so the consumption of essential oils for individuals has increased, and thus my business has also increased.
Right. So that awareness of personal health has been one of those unique industries that's benefited from COVID and the fact that people have had to reflect on their own well-being. So have there been one or two actions that you've taken specifically to support your business and additionally support your clients as well as your prospects?
Well, one of the things that has shifted, because we're not really seeing clients in person or having large gatherings, which is what I would have done during the winter, and when there's a need for classes and education, I would do them in person, because it is a little, people do like to scratch and sniff and smell and take a look at the products. It's entertainment, right? You like to take a look rather than look at a picture image on a website and then decide to purchase. Although that's fair, easily enough to do when you know the product and you feel safe in ordering it, and you'll try it at home with some guidance over the phone from me or a Zoom call.
Yeah, but we are multi-sensory beings, aren't we?
Exactly.
That,
We want to have the social community where we're talking to other people about their experiences. We want to do it more kind of very fluid in that conversation and feed off of the other people's energy as well. And we would have had a huge event May 30th, but of course that would have been canceled, where we share people the lifestyle of how to incorporate these products, whether it's in cleaning products. We would share people how to do that, because once they know how to do it in person, you'll feel more confident to doing it at home, or making bug repellent, and people will see recipe and they're still a little bit confused how that works. But I can give them a recipe, but if you've ever made like an apple pie from a recipe, it's disastrous the first time you do it, right?
I can order an
Especially if you
apple
get
pie.
no guide. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or kale salad. They wondered why it was so delicious in the restaurant, and you realize when you're home, you're supposed to massage that kale and let it sit for a little while. But
I know that. I actually know that.
Right? Yeah. How do you massage that, right?
So tell me, what have you actually done to pivot then to those actions to deal with that challenge of not being able to be with some people?
So what I have done is the group environment has been a lot of Facebook Lives to help my customers to create that dialogue. As people are getting more comfortable with the technology, they're okay, chatting in the chat box, having conversations in Zoom in a group environment, and not feeling like, well, this is not the same, so I'm not going to do it, because there is still some value. And once people get over that blockage, that it's not the same, or I'm not going to get even one gold nugget, that has been so helpful for my business as well. Because in the past, it has always been an offering to be in person. The structure of my business has been more in person than it was online. Just my own preference. I don't really want to spend all day chatting with virtual people online and cultivating, 20,000 relationships online, just for my own peace and calm. And for other business, they enjoy doing that. That's not me. And I haven't hired a virtual assistant to be able to assist me with that yet. So for me, I do this business because I want to interact with real people on a one-on-one basis. Maybe my business would gain more funds, but right now I'm looking at helping those people that may not want that interaction to have an online course, so that they get kind of like the basics of how to use essential oils to get themselves comfortable with a natural alternative. Because just because something's natural doesn't necessarily mean that it's best for that individual.
No, for sure. Look, I love your energy. You're one of the most positive people I know, and you come across, whether in person or online, of that energy, positive person. And I think that people who get the opportunity to engage with you would appreciate that. This makes this next question a little more difficult, because it's often said that smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from the mistakes of others. What mistakes have you made that others can benefit from? And the reason I think it's difficult, because you do take the positive out of almost every situation. So to ask you to focus on your mistakes is a bit of a challenge. But what has been the greatest area of growth stretch for you over these past few months and years in business?
Well, I would say actually, I've got this little mantra that over the past year and a half, it's focusing on relationships first, the foundation of relationships first, before action and results. And for me, that's something that's hard to swallow, because action means there's something happening. And when you're coaching someone or helping someone succeed with integrating something new into their life, whether it's natural food choices or essential oils, it's hard to swallow that people will take their own time to be able to be more comfortable with it. So focusing on the relationship, having it feel safe for them to say they don't understand.
Okay.
And then ask questions. It's a difficult thing to swallow because I would literally, when I first started doing my presentations, I would talk about 10 different essential oils because I want to deliver as much information as possible. Or if I was teaching them how to incorporate foods, I would give them the whole week of recipes. We go grocery shopping. You know, it's like overwhelm. And what I realized, it needed to be a stepwise process. First, getting people comfortable with a habit and then stacking the habits. And that for me was a big eye opener because I'm going at, 80 miles an hour and I see the end, but that person doesn't see, they see the end, but they might want to go in a different direction. Family members may be the input as well to that is a relationship that's more important than me as a coach, right? Their family is more important than I am to this person or their pet. Yes.
That's a great learning, but I want to go back and ask you a supplementary question. I don't typically, but you said that this happened about 18 months ago, that you had this awakening, if you like, that the way you were showing up wasn't the right way for showing up for your clients, and therefore you weren't really supporting your own mission by supporting your clients correctly. What happened 18 months ago that caused you to become aware?
I became more aware 18 months ago because I was finding that the way I wanted to dispense the information to people wasn't quite sinking in. Right? They would say, oh, I bought those essential oils or I bought that diffuser, but I haven't even unpacked it after a week, or I am too scared to use the essential oils because I'm worried I'm going to waste it. So somehow I had come across that you have to know so much and you have to know everything all at once. And then they get started, right? So they've got in this education paralysis. And so how I shifted in the way in educating people is I spent a whole hours or doing little videos on just the diffuser, or I'll tell people just take one and learn how to use that one thing because that's what you need right now, digestive issues or sleep, and just focus on it, stacking that habit rather than like open up every single bottle and smell it and put it here and put it there and put it there and, use this for that, use this for that. Okay, but that's not what they need right now. They can have a little cheat sheet. So if they can, in their mind, they'll say, headache, peppermint instead of Tylenol, or lavender instead of Tylenol, right? But that takes time for that mind shift to naturally say that is the solution in their mind, because we're gonna have to reprogram how they think, right? Even with food, like people may know, like it's easy to cook meat and vegetables, but people are unaware how to cook vegetables and make it tasty because they haven't developed that skill and that habit and that practice. And in their mind and in their body, the sensation is, yes, this does taste good, and that was easy. Because it's a lot easier to do something like order pizza, because that's what they've usually done when they're hungry late at night, even though you can make something delicious in 5 minutes if they knew how to.
I understand.
Yeah.
So you recognize that the actions you were taking, whilst with the best intent, were actually missing your reason and your purpose, yet they appeared aligned, but your clients, your prospects, were not engaging in the way that you had properly intended for them. So
Yes.
you noticed and adapted, and I think that's a really valuable lesson that we can all take. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting different results. and your results were outwardly focused for your clients and they weren't working. So full credit to you. That's really phenomenal. So second to last question, if you don't mind. Do you want to just share the best way that we can contact you?
Yes, Joel, the best way to contact me is I am on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me there, Charito Kaay, or you can find me Raw Food Essential Oils. And my email is Coach Charito, CHARITO, @gmail.com.
That's brilliant. I'll put that on the slide at the end of this. That's great. Thank you. So last question. What's been the most inspiring thing for you today?
Oh, the most inspiring thing for me today and in general during this COVID time is how people are embracing technology and increasing their learning about other businesses. And that has been the most inspiring for me, that even if you're 80 years old or 70 years old, they're also getting online. Not to say that that's your age, Joel, but this is influencing me. Wow, you look great, by the way.
Well, you're inspiring me now then.
Right? Is that we're doing this a lot more, where we're interviewing people and then we're recording people and we're creating content for ourselves and other people and helping other businesses to elevate each other, which is so fantastic, and spreading ideas and messages worldwide.
Well, look, I'm great that we've got this opportunity that people can hear you, and I want to thank you for your time this morning, Charito. I know your diary is always full because you're out there supporting others, not just in your business, but in your networks as well, and you're continually learning and growing accordingly. I would heartily recommend engaging with Charito. She has been a good friend as well as an associate, and actually I use her products. So thanks for your time, Charito, and look forward to catching up with you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joel.